Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lando's Lessons. Like I said last video, I wanted to make a little tribute video to anyone who's feeling worthless, anyone who's going through suicidal ideations, anyone who's extremely depressed. I reflected for a couple weeks and put together a little list of things that I would have loved to hear, reminders, if you will. So I'll talk more in the latter, but definitely want to get to this ASAP. So, first and foremost, you are loved. I know that's cliche. I know you hear it all the time. But truly, truly, even at your loneliest points, even if you can't think of any reasons or anybody, you are loved. You are worth every single bit of being here on this planet. Don't forget that. It's hard. It gets very hard. That pit is so hard to climb out of. But you are loved and you are worthy of being loved. Don't let darkness win. Even if you don't see that light at the end of the tunnel, just keep moving towards the end, because eventually that little glimmer will come up and it can be all the difference in the world. I speak from experience with that. Next up, anytime you're getting down, anytime you are in that pit, look back at every other moment you were in this pit. Look back at every moment that you were down or depressed or didn't know what to do with your life, whenever you were lost. And just remember that you already survived that. You've bypassed those instances, and this is all this moment is another instance. So please remember that you've already come so far, and that is just a sign of your strength and your resilience. This is just a temporary moment, so be sure to remember that, because good God, it's so easy to get caught up in the cycle of right now when you're spiraling. But you've already survived all that in the past, and all that's done is make you stronger and stronger and stronger. So look back and remember that you are one badass motherfucker, because you are going through so much and you have survived so much already. This is just a blip in time. So don't forget that. Next up, even if right now feels like a lifetime, it is just one moment, 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week, however long that this feeling is, 1 year. It is all temporary, and time's going to keep moving forward. And with that, that is more time to grow. That is more time to learn. That is more time to nurture and be nurtured. So just remember, this is once again all temporary. These feelings that you're feeling do not need to be acted upon, because that's just a rash decision. Rash decisions, good God, don't lead to anything good. It's very rare, and if it does, it's lucky. Think it through. Think it through, long and hard. And if you can't come to a conclusion, then put it off and continue to think, because just making a decision randomly is not the best thing. Not going to lead to the best results, if you will. And of course, whether you know it or not, people do love you, and people will miss you if you decide to make that decision. Whether it's the stranger at the convenience store that you see all the time, whether it's a coworker, whether it's a family member or a loved one or friends, there are people out here who will miss your presence. Selfishly ending it all because of some feelings that seem valid at the time, that's not the answer. Just, even if you don't care enough about yourself, remember that there are other people who do care about you, even if it doesn't feel that way in the moment. And of course, don't be afraid to ask for help. Every single person that you've ever looked up to has asked for help at some point in their time. No one does this alone. Anyone who says otherwise is full of it. We need community. We need a group, whether it be one person or whether it be several. It's a community effort. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to say, I can't do this on my own. because that's where the real progress starts, is saying it out loud. I can't stress how much I needed to hear that at the time. Um, I tried to shoulder everything, and I know that you're trying to do the same. Your burdens, your regrets, your guilt, everything just weighs you down, and it feels like you can't even move, you can't even breathe. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There are plenty of hotlines, there are plenty of professionals that literally deal with this and deal with worse. So put don't get in your own way. Ask for help if you truly need it. And of course, if things aren't working right now, focus on what you have control over. You have control over so many things, even at your worst moments. Your decisions are yours to make. So make sure that you lean towards the most positive outcome you can. Tell yourself to shrug off whatever negativity that you have, because it is a temporary thought that can be replaced with something of more permanence, of healthy decision making, something of happiness that can lead to joy, something that you exude. You are a light. You are someone who deserves happiness. You cannot forget that. Even when you're spiraling, you cannot forget that. So please, 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 just focus on what you have control over. These are the things that can help center you to a degree. Um, I just personally, I definitely needed to hear that several times in my life when I was focused on the outside world around me. It's easy to get lost in it, especially with how the world's going right now. And unfortunately, that could have been said 2 months ago, 2 years ago, 2 decades ago. There's always something. So focus on what you have control over, because that's the only thing that you have control over. Everything else is something that's out of reach. Everything else is a distraction. Things that just bring you down. So just focus on the controllables. A change of your present situation doesn't have to be drastic. Literally going to the park, which I know everyone says go outside and connect with nature, go on a walk, but seriously, it does do something. Changing your environment, not staying in your bed, not staying in your room, not staying in your living room, not staying watching the same shows over again, even if it's just for 10 minutes. That little bit can be so much to your mental health, to your spiritual well-being, is understanding that I just need a change of scenery. I need to make sure that I'm doing something slightly different than I've done yesterday or last week or over the course of a month or over this year, because it's so easy when you're caught up in that cycle for your life to become a cycle as well. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. You don't have to interact with people if you're not ready to do so. I definitely have been in times where I was not, but definitely please change your situation and your habits, because doing the same thing is already proven to you that it doesn't work, because you're in this rut right now. You're in this cycle that you faced multiple times. So don't be afraid to say enough's enough. I need to get out. Enough's enough. I need to talk to somebody. Just change from what you've been doing currently, because as you can tell, for those who are in cycles repeatedly, like I was, doing the same thing isn't going to change anything. And that one step can lead to something even bigger. And that step can lead to something even bigger. And that's where the drastic life changes happen. That's where my sobriety came in. That's where saying I need to get help and realizing that I suffered from chronic depression and anxiety and I'm a bipolar disorder and probably a few other things that I'm scared to find out about. But I'm going to continue to work forward and move forward to be able to understand myself better so I can be the best version of myself. And all it took was one step saying, I need help. So take that little step and change your scenery. Take that step to move forward and make sure you're breaking the habits that you have in front of you. And then eventually, when you feel like you have the strength inside of you, you can go and say, I need help. Because that right there is going to mean so much to you and your well being, because it's hard to do it alone. It's hard to shoulder those burdens. Even when you're in that transitional phase, when you're feeling good, there is peace in solitude, and there can be peace in solitude. You don't have to beat yourself up because you feel lonely. You don't have to feel like the scum of the earth because you don't have any friends or family or a relationship built up. There is growth in the solitary times. So don't be afraid to journal. Don't be afraid to pray. Don't be afraid to meditate. Just once again, it goes with changing the scenery, changing your habits. There can be so many things that lead to inner growth that come from the solitary times. I used to hate the quiet. I would surround myself with people that I felt uncomfortable around, in situations I felt uncomfortable around, because I was afraid to be by myself. And even in times where I was by myself, I still felt the same way. And it eats at you. You feel like you're not worthy of love. You feel like you're not worthy of being around people who care about their lives, because I don't care about mine. And I can care more about their lives than I ever did mine. It's a lack of self-empathy, if you will. So, yes, please, please, please just realize that in times of loneliness, in times of solitude, there is purpose behind it that you can take advantage of. This is just a moment in your story, and this becomes your testimony. This becomes your strength, and every moment after will be something that is going to change someone else in this crazy world. Your struggles, the shit you're going through, the stuff that you're stomaching, the deep, dark thoughts that you have when things are at their worst, you surviving that is another chance for you to help someone else who's going through that. That's what I want this to be. This is a moment to realize that, hey, I've gone through a lot of this. I still have thoughts sometimes, but because I asked for help, I was able to get to a better place. But I'd be damned if I don't share those moments of my darkness, so that other people can know that when they are in them, it is possible to see that light. It is possible to be the person that you want to be a better version of you, to find a life where happiness comes back, where you can smile genuinely and not have to worry about putting on a mask, putting on a false face, because you can find that joy and happiness in your life. The forgive me. I spent a long time trying to find happiness in drugs, in addiction, in the bottle. I looked everywhere, in the happiness of others, in just I didn't know how to do it myself, so I looked everywhere else, and none of it was good. None of it. So for those who struggle with addiction, for those who struggle with depression, for those who struggle with SI, it's easy to try the outside sources, but the strength comes from within. For those who believe, the strength comes from above. There's so much more to the world than our current thoughts, our darkest thoughts. There's so much more. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of where you are at right now, but it is temporary. Don't seek solace, don't seek happiness in the bottle, in a means of escaping, in sexcapades, because it's not going to fill that void. It's not, it just isn't. You have to find it from within. You have to find it with those you believe in, whether you want to call it God or Jesus or Buddha or Allah or Jehovah or the spirit or the universe or the creator, or however you want to justify it. There is something that is bigger than humanity and bigger than this world, in my honest opinion. And as soon as I got some level of clarity, I remembered that. I was so caught up in literally continuing the cycle of alcoholism and just working to drink, basically, and not actually living my life, that I forgot about the things that were bigger than me. I was in a cycle, in a pit of selfishness. And while I did have empathy for others, it only went as far as my needs. And it took a long time to say that and realize that out loud. I have so many regrets to people that I've interacted with because of those times where I didn't have control over my situation, because the only thing driving me was the drink. So don't beat yourself up because of where you are currently. Just it can be just that, just temporary. And all it takes is that effort, that step to say enough's enough. That's where the true change comes in. Um, and remember, even with all that darkness, once again, you have survived the past events. When you felt this same way a month ago, a week ago, a day ago, you survived it. You've moved on from it. This is just another one of those moments. It is temporary. I can't stress that enough. Don't don't get caught up in the I'm better off not being here. I'm a burden, which I still feel like a burden sometimes, but I'm a burden. I take away from people more than I give. There's so many thoughts in your head that can creep in and just take firm root, and do not let that be the deciding factor about how you live your life or how long you live your life. Those thoughts are the work of true evil, and no one is going to control you like this mind right here, because it only processes what you feel, only processes the emotions. It is not to be listened to or trusted in those moments. You are stronger than your current thoughts. Please don't forget that. Um, we are one of the biggest. We are all rich, and I don't mean monetarily speaking, not in the slightest. I mean we are rich in time. How can I be selfish enough to say, "Fuck this, I'm out," when there are people who are praying for one more second with a loved one, who are praying for one more minute on this earth, who just want to see the sun rise another day? It is completely and utterly selfish in my eyes to just let that slip away when there are so many other people who just wish they had that other amount of time, that little bit more. And please don't get this the wrong way. I'm not calling you selfish directly. I'm saying that the act itself can be that, because of just how many people value having just one more little bit. I don't, I don't, I didn't. Especially I think back to one time I didn't want to do it because I thought about someone in my family, and I realized I wish they were here, is what I said, and I wish I had that time with them. And what would they think of it? What if I wished that I had time with them? Why the hell would I give up my time on this earth? Why would I say enough's enough? We are all rich in time. That is the most valuable commodity that anyone can have. You can be a multi-billionaire, but guess what? If you don't have the time on this earth, then what's the fucking point? Cherish the time that you have. Use it wisely. Don't let these dark moments decide your life. Cherish every moment, because you just never know when it could be your last. Don't don't take that away from yourself. Continue to live, continue to fight, continue to breathe. Because once again, you deserve all the love in the world. And once again, lastly, and another big moment is when you finally have those moments of clarity. Take the time to write down the things that you appreciate, and it doesn't have to be anything big. It doesn't have to be my loved one, or that one time we traveled to Disney World. No, it can be, man, I'd love to get another slice of pizza from this place down the street. Man, I really enjoy going to watch baseball games. I want to go to the dog park and play with some random dogs. Those things that bring you joy and happiness, make a list of them. And then when you're in those moments of darkness, don't be afraid to hop back to that list and just see all the things that bring you happiness and peace in your life. Because that can be so much of a deciding factor. I think I've said it before on here. My dog saved my life one day. Um, had the bottle, had a crap ton of sleeping meds, and that was what I was going to do. That was one of the dark times. And I was sitting there on the edge of the couch. No, I was on the floor with the back of my back to the couch. That's what it was. And my dog, it was like 2 in the morning. I had the pill bottle in my left hand, and he nudged me. He nudged me, and like I said, this is 2 in the morning. Dude, if you knew my dog, he was a sleeposaurus. He was all about the sleep, but he gotten up at that moment, and he nudged me, and I had realized that if I'm not here, who's gonna take care of this guy? In that moment, because when I was in the spiral, I didn't care. And that's the thing about the spiral is it's so easy to just justify any rash thought because you're not thinking clearly. And I've been in that spiral for so long, and I know so many of y'all have as well, years upon years upon years. Moments of brief levity, sure, but so much time sitting in a room full of people feeling like you're the loneliest motherfucker in the world. Remember those positive thoughts. Remember the things that bring you peace when you are clear of mind. Jot that shit down and keep it close so that when you have those moments, you can reflect upon it. Anyway, I'm happy that I was able to do this. It was really hard to write all that stuff out and think about those times. I honestly, as much as I've blocked out in my life involuntarily, I wish I could block out some of that. I think life would be easier, but I wouldn't be where I am without those moments. And just, I hope you remember the same thing. The resolve, the resilience, the strength that comes from surviving those moments. The conviction and strength it takes just to say, hey, I need help. I remember when I quit drinking the day after I decided enough was enough, I hit up my dad and we had a nice sit down. And I told him, hey, I need help because trying to do it myself wasn't cutting it. Relapse after relapse. The SI, the chronic depression, the staying in bed for days and not eating, not drinking. It just eats away at you. It tears you apart. It gets better. It doesn't feel like it, but it gets better. Don't wallow in this moment. That pit that you feel like you can't climb out of, that pit that you feel like you're sliding back down over and over again, there's a way out. If you're brave enough to say I need help, someone can drop down a rope or a ladder. I've had some people who try to get in there with me and pull me up and push me up. It's a challenge, especially when you don't feel like you're worthy of it, especially when you feel like you're a burden. Like I said, I still feel like that sometimes. It's easy to hate yourself. No one knows you like you, and you can turn the most positive of moments into something negative in a split second. Fight. Be strong. You can be the best version of you if you just take the time to get through this moment. I hope this helped. I really do. I was going to post this like end of the week, next week, and then I realized, why the hell would I do that? Sit down and say what you need to say because there's someone out there who needs to hear it. And I hope that you stuck around to hear me tell you exactly what I needed to hear, and hopefully some of that resonated with you. Know that you're loved. Know that you're valued. Know that you're not alone. I'm happy to be here. And I couldn't say that a while ago. I am happy to be here. And those brief decisions, those brief seconds, it's easy to say, I don't need it. I don't need to be here anymore. I'm better off not interfering with people's lives. I'm better off not being around. No, no. You are valued. You are loved. Even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. You take care now. Much love. Bye bye.